You're eating clean, whole foods, animal-based, you're training really, really hard, but you're not seeing any results. This used to be the situation for me as well. I was putting in all the hours in the gym, I was eating clean, whole foods, I'm doing everything right, but I'm not seeing any results. And the main reason for this is because you're chronically stuck in a fight or flight state. Your nervous system is stuck in a sympathetic nervous system state. It doesn't matter how hard you train, how clean you eat. If your nervous system is stuck in a sympathetic state, you will never be able to absorb any food, digest any nutrients, you will never be able to lose any fat, you're not gonna see any results. And two of the most important variables in order to fix this is hydration and digestion. Therefore, I'm gonna share an in-depth video about these things, how to optimize your digestion, how to optimize your hydration. This is usually something only my one-to-one clients get access to, but I'm feeling a bit generous. And I know that this is the situation and the problem for a lot of people. So please, if you're doing everything right on paper, take a look at this, implement all the things I go over in this video, come back and thank me later. It's gonna be a game changer, trust me.
Digestion and hydration. Two very important things. You're not just what you eat, you are what you absorb. So let's go over this, the foundation. Why does this, or why does water matter in the first place? Well, water is the most essential nutrient in the human body. Every metabolic reaction depends on it. But modern water is not the same as the spring water our ancestors drank. The problem, modern contaminants. Most tap water contains fluoride and chlorine, which is going to disrupt your thyroid and gut microbiome. Heavy metals accumulate in tissues, damage your mitochondria, microplastics and endocrine disruptors. They've even found birth control and things of this nature, which leads to, or it's going to mess up your hormones and cellular signaling. So it's kind of a bit made fun of, but you know, the frogs turning gay, I guess, statement is definitely a true thing, you know. Endocrine disruptors, etc., plastics, heavy metals, fluoride, all things that are going to mess up your endocrine system, your hormones, and these compounds slowly erode energy, mood, and long-term health. So what is the solution for this? Well, pure mineral-rich water. The goal is clean water that's alive, not sterile. Filtration, the gold standards are Berkey filters or reverse osmosis systems, which are going to remove all of these toxins whilst allowing you to remineralize afterward. So something that I'm going to recommend you is to make sure that you have a reverse osmosis filter or reverse osmosis system at your home. If you don't have one, I recommend getting one. But once again, there is, as I wrote, the thing we have to understand here is that is gonna remove everything from the water. It's not just gonna remove the bad things, it's also gonna remove the good things. So it's super important to remineralize after with some trace mineral drops and a lot of good quality sea salt, because otherwise it's gonna be just plain no nutrients, no minerals, no nothing, and that's not good either. This is the same thing with, just as we've already gone over, but with hydration. If we just drink plain water without any added minerals, any added sodium, it's just going to dehydrate us even more because of the fact that your body can't take anything of that up. You can't funnel the water into your cells when there's no sodium there, no trace minerals. So super important to remineralize the water afterwards. Storage, we always want to use glass or stainless steel, never plastic bottles. So I always have mine, this glass bottle. It's an old raw milk bottle that I've just started using for water. I have like 10 of these at home. So always drinking out of glass water. When I'm at the gym, I bring that as well. When I'm going somewhere, always bring that. Alternatively, as I said, stainless steel, but never ever use plastic water bottles. Why? Well, plastic bottles leach BPAs, phthalates, and other endocrine disruptors that are going to disrupt your hormones. That's no bueno. We also want to avoid alkaline bottled water. That's often just filtered tap water with some marketing or a marketing spin on it. So proper hydration is more than just volume. It's cellular conductivity. Mineral-rich water conducts electrical signals that regulate your nerves, your muscles, and mitochondrial function. Why hydration drives energy? Well, when your cells are hydrated and mineralized, sodium and potassium pumps work efficiently, which means more ATP energy. Nutrient transport improves, which means better digestion and better recovery. Detox pathways open, so liver, kidneys, lymph function optimally, and cognitive function, focus and alertness increases as well. Hydration is super, super important. Dehydration, even mild, reduces mitochondrial output, it raises your cortisol, and it slows down your digestion. Also, something to add on top of this, I guess, a good rule of thumb for when you're hydrated or dehydrated or in a good range is to just look at your P, I guess. It's usually what I do. It's usually what I base my, I guess, mineral and water consumption based on. If it's, very, very yellow, that means that you are leaning towards dehydration. If it's very bland, it almost looks like plain water, then you're too hydrated. And then somewhere in the middle is the sweet spot. So that's also a good just rule of thumb, how to kind of and on how to make assumptions where you're at. So some hydration practices. Well, the first thing that I'm always gonna want you guys to do is to begin your morning with plasma water. We've already went over this in the 10 health rules, but just water with a good amount of sea salt. If we want, we can also add on some lemon juice or squeeze of lime juice on top of that. Super, super important. This is like a non-negotiable. Hydrate in the morning is the most important thing. Mainly also because during sleep, we've gone a lot of hours without any fluid, which means that we're most likely dehydrated when we wake up, right? We haven't got any hydration for a good amount of hours. So this is going to rehydrate you. It's going to flush overnight toxins, and it's going to support adrenal rhythm. The other thing we want to be doing is to drink water between meals, not during heavy eating. We want to do that to avoid diluting stomach acid. So I'd rather see you sip on water just randomly throughout the day than have a big hydration serving or water serving whilst you're eating. That can cause a bit of problems for our digestion. We obviously also want to add trace minerals and electrolytes before, after training or sauna. But as I've said earlier as well, I think a very good rule of thumb is to every time you fill up your water bottle, there should be a pinch of salt in there. It's a non-negotiable rule. And then we want to sip throughout the day. We want to avoid chugging crazy large volumes at once. The only time we want to do that is mainly in the morning, when we're drinking the morning plasma. There, I usually almost chug a 500 to 750 mil or something like this. But a little tip there, what I always do as well is I fill up the water the day prior, because very, very cold water can also cause a bit of problems on your digestion. So if the water is room temperature, it's always easier for you to digest. So I fill up the water the day before, so in the morning it's almost it's not warm, but it's also not cold. It's room temperature, which makes it a lot easier for your body to digest. And that's also just a little tip there. Foundation of a digestion. Well, digestion is where health begins and where most people silently fail. Even the cleanest diet doesn't help if you can't extract nutrients from it. So it's not just about the food, it's about the state you're in when you eat. This is one very common thing that I've seen with a lot of clients as well that I've been working with. Coming to me, they already ate very good, very clean before. They trained for a good amount of years, ate clean for, close to 5+ years, but they haven't seen any results. And why is that? Well, it's mainly, or the main reason for this is because of the stress. If your body's in a fight or flight mode, you're not going to be able to absorb the food, right? A stressed body can't do anything. So it's not just about what you put into your mouth, it's about how your body is able to utilize that, and what you're doing with that matters the most. So something that is very, very important is that we want to enter rest and digest mode when we before eating. This is also why I've told or said multiple times, you might have heard me say it on my Instagram as well, but the last thing I would want you to do, and the last thing I would recommend someone to do, is just shove down a big meal immediately after your workout. That's one of the worst things you can do. You're not gonna digest that food, or just shove down protein shakes after the workout is one of the worst habits that you can have. Because once again, a nervous system that is stuck in fight or flight will never be able to digest any food. So we want to rather take some time to focus on taking ourselves out of that sympathetic nervous system state to a parasympathetic nervous system state. So out from fight or flight to rest and digest. So sit down, slow down, take some deep breaths to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Smell your food is also something you can do. This is going to trigger digestion and prime your stomach acid and enzymes for what to come. So if you're eating whilst you're stressed, rushed, or whilst you're scrolling, this is also a big mistake I see a lot of people doing. They sit in front of a screen watching something whilst they're eating. Your digestion is going to be completely shut off. This is also, in my opinion, one of the probably biggest variables that holds a lot of people back, because there's a lot of people eating very good food, very clean, they're training, but is your body actually digesting that food? Are you actually putting those nutrients to use, or are you blocking your body's ability to absorb that because you're constantly stressed? So super, super important that we never want to eat whilst we're in a stressed, rushed state. Chewing is the first mechanical breakdown of the food and the start of the enzyme activation. So it's super important to not also just swallow big pieces of food. This is super, super important. We want to chew each bite, just a small range here. Obviously, this depends on what you eat, but 20 to 30 times, especially meat and other fibrous vegetables. Saliva contains enzymes which begin carbohydrate and fat digestion. So slow eating is also a lot better for nutrient absorption, and also will cause less bloating if that's a problem for you. So view eating as a very sacred thing. We should never just rush, never stress, never just shove down food through or down our mouth. That is no bueno, and that is going to do us no good. Some things that we can use to enhance our body's ability to digest food is some acids and enzymes. So one of my favorite things is to use apple cider vinegar or warm lemon water before the meals, which is also going to boost your stomach acid. Pineapple papaya, if we're in the summer or in a warmer climates, which contains a natural enzyme called bromelain, which is helping you digest the protein better. So that's a good one. And then what I also do, I guess I'm coming to that in the next slide, but as we've already went over in the 10 health rules, is to have sauerkraut or something fermented with almost all my meals to help or to give my body, provided with the raw digestive enzymes that you properly need to digest the food. That's also a good one. Let's see, we have it here. Yeah, drink warm beverage like tea, peppermint, ginger tea with or after meals. That's also a good one. Once again, as I said before, the worst thing we can do is drink a lot of super, super cold liquids around the eating food. That's something we don't want to do. is gonna constrict digestion and slow enzyme activation. I think you have it, yeah, fermented foods. So include fermented foods daily to feed and balance your gut microbiome. Sauerkraut, kefir, kimchi, full-fat yogurt. As I said, I try to have this in every single meal. I have a bit of sauerkraut or kefir or kimchi or full-fat yogurt. And if I don't literally have it on the plate, I always just go to the fridge, take a spoon of sauerkraut before the meal to just give my body those good raw digestive enzymes, and it's going to enhance my body's ability to digest all the other food on the plate. These naturally supply probiotics and enzymes, which once again improves digestion, immunity, and nutrient uptake. Some additional tools that we can use is we can use mastic gum. Let's see, I actually have it here on my desk. Mastic gum after meals is good. It supports oral health, helps with liver detox and gut motility. Bitters or digestive tonics stimulate bile flow and enzymes. And then another of our 10 health rules is the post-meal walk, just 5 to 10 minutes, which is going to reduce blood sugar spikes and enhance digestion. So some light movement after the meals as well is one of the best things you can do. What happens if we don't, or when digestion fails? Well, if you neglect digestion and hydration, nutrients pass through unabsorbed, which is going to lead to fatigue and cravings. Gut inflammation leads to bloating, brain fog, and poor recovery. Hormone production declines, cholesterol and minerals aren't converted efficiently. Toxins also accumulate, which leads to skin issues, fatigue, low libido, bloating. So poor digestion equals poor energy, poor mood, poor everything. Super important to hydrate and digest properly. They are two sides of the same system. Water delivers nutrients, digestion extracts them. If either is off, you're starving your cells even with a perfect nutrition plan. So mastering hydration and digestion isn't about complexity, it's about alignment with physiology. We want to drink clean, mineralized water. We want to eat in a relaxed state. We want to support your stomach acid and enzymes, and we want to feed our gut microbiome daily. If we do these things consistently, you'll unlock deeper energy, sharper focus, better nutrient absorption, and true vitality from the inside out. It's not about what you eat, it's about what your body can use and utilize of what you eat. That is the most important thing. So don't stress, don't hydrate improperly, do these things right. Super important variables to our health in general, and you will feel $1,000,000. That's it for digestion and hydration.
Now you're done. You've watched the whole thing through. Instead of just shutting down this video, go out, implement all these things. And if you want my personal help to optimize your health and take things to the next level, you can apply for a qualification call below, where we'll map out your situation, understand your bottlenecks, and see how we can potentially help you. First link in the description. Apply if you once again want to take things to the next level. Hopefully I'll see you there. I'll see you on the inside. Hope you enjoyed the video as well. Comment if you have any comments. If you have any questions, let me know as well. You can always shoot me a DM on Instagram as well. I'll see you in the next one.